Hey, this is Kelli.
And this is Sue.
Welcome to Front Porch AF, where friends and neighbors
Gather to have a drink and a laugh and figure out how to solve all the problems of the world. Cheers, y'all.
Hey, Sue.
Hey, Kelli. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be home.
I am glad to have you home. We missed you very much.
Oh,
it's
that's
very
sweet.
dull on the bend when you're not here.
I can only imagine. Well, it's good to be here. What are we doing today?
We are welcoming, and this is, we have the best guest. We have waited 18 months to get this woman. Tennessee State Representative AFTYN BEHN, a blue dot in a sea of red, pot for potholes. Yes.
Hey,
and
awesome.
the real economics of the Super Bowl in Nashville. But we'll get to that later.
Great. This is going to be a fun one.
It is. It's going to be a very fun one. What are you drinking?
You know, I'm having a Sprite Zero.
I know.
Because I got a nasty cold on my trip. And so I haven't, I've been laying off the alcohol.
You have not had any alcohol
in a while.
In a while.
Yeah.
And, Gibraltar still stands.
Believe it or not. I don't have a Huggy, but I have my BGD.
A big girl drink.
My big girl drink.
And I've got my short, squat, little girl drink.
What? Okay, so what's in there?
That's it. Russian vodka.
Oh, yeah?
Russian standard vodka. Thank you, Stacy.
Thanks, Stacy. Yeah, that was a really cool
And
thing.
we'll be telling her the story in the mailbag.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. But
right.
Meanwhile,
neighborhood notes.
Neighborhood notes.
What's going
You
on?
lead off. You lead off.
Me?
Yes.
Well, I did just get back from California for work. Well, I was California to Washington State, but I got stuck in Dallas. And I think I was in Dallas.
On your layover.
On my layover. I almost had to get an address. I was there so long. Not really, but I had to spend the night in the fucking Dallas area. And they canceled they didn't cancel our flight till after, it was midnight. So we didn't get, nobody, I'm sure, got settled in till close to 1 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, hey, this plane is going to sit right here and you're coming to get back on it tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. So of course you had to get back in through security and be ready to board. So you set your clock for maybe about 4 hours of sleep. Well, sometime during that 4 hours, they canceled that flight.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then it got delayed again till 9:30. So you could have slept more, but then by that time you're in security. But then that one got delayed twice. It was nuts. And so I'm in an Uber and I step out of the Uber and almost I was trying to make a meeting Monday out there that started at 2 o'clock, and I just walked in the door straight to the meeting. It was crazy. But anyway, glad I made it. And
what did you eat in Dallas that made you sick? Oh, you had a cold.
I had a cold. I didn't eat anything in Dallas.
No wonder you're looking gaunt and thin. I better feed you something after the show.
No, it's fine. Anyway, but that was good. I'm glad to be back. And guess what I did this morning?
No, I'm not going there. You got to tell me, because whatever it is, it'll be wrong.
Well, I hope Piper's listening, because I met with an estate planning attorney and I'm getting my shit together.
You got your shit together.
Get my shit together.
Oh my God. Here. And it's all inspired by our show.
Well, a lot of our shows. It's been a common theme about getting your shit together.
Yes, because everybody around you has their shit together when it comes to dying.
And so anyway, it's started, and she's going to be, if I can keep my shit together, she'll have it done within 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah, she's pretty.
That's
on
great. Because we just signed all of ours. We had to revise all of ours and went through the whole signing process again.
That's the good thing too, right? You can.
It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's been fun to learn about trust and all that stuff. We might need to have somebody on to talk about that. What's the difference in a will and when do you need a trust and how does all that work?
That
would
be really good. Yeah.
How to avoid whoever you're leaving can avoid tax implications and things like that. So it's been really cool. Oh, the last time we had a show, this is my last neighborhood note, other than I'm glad to be done with Mercury in retrograde, because, it was a rough couple of weeks for me. And on the last show, I couldn't find my phone. I don't know if we talked about it.
We did
phone,
talk. Yes,
I was on the tractor, and then I had the phone, and then I didn't have the phone.
And then you bush hogged your phone.
Well, so it turns out I bush hogged the phone.
Yes, that's true.
And we've got some pictures of what's left of the phone that we can share with everybody.
Yeah, they went up.
Oh, that's already gone up.
That's right. By the time this airs, they've already gone up.
Yeah. So that happened, and that got situated.
Yeah.
So hopefully things are going to kind of.
And you have a phone that you are backing up to the cloud now, right?
Yes, I am backing.
There you go.
Because I lost a bunch of contacts, and so that's been the kind of probably the most entertaining thing is I'm getting all these text messages from people like thinking about you. What are you doing today? So I try to engage in conversation long enough to figure out who they are, because I'm too embarrassed to say I don't. Who is this?
You should. Wait, you need to have that like on a copyboard someplace. Hey, I lost my phone. I have no idea who you are, but my social security number is, and my mother's maiden name is, and my birth date is. I mean, you can do that.
Probably
Okay.
not. I'll probably not take that route.
Really? Oh.
But anyway, what have you had going on?
Okay,
this week?
my neighborhood notes are a batch of excellent ones. Our friend and neighbor JD.
Well, JD.
Yeah, JD had a battery problem the other day, and he called me and he said, "Can you come over and?"
Because you'll be the first person I call.
Because you were gone. You were gone. Anyway, so I do have battery
Jumper cables?
Jumper cables, those things. So I went over, and unfortunately, it didn't work. It was a different problem. It was a real mechanic problem. So
Yeah.
I wasn't helped. But it reminded me that I don't know that you know that if you know that I was Ellettsville, Indiana's first and only girl gas station attendant in 1971. Harold Sunoco.
Oh my gosh, that's the year I was born.
I was hired on the condition that I wear short shorts and bend way over
Oh my
when I was
gosh, you
checking
gotta be
the
kidding me.
oil. It
Really?
is true.
Did
It
you
is
get
true.
tips?
$1.70 an hour.
No tips?
No tips.
No matter
No.
how
No
far
matter-
you've been over?
No matter how far I've been over. But because I have that mechanical background, I was able to fix my ice maker myself.
That's kind of a leap, but go ahead.
Yes. So just call me Tech Bitch.
We got some gas station to ice maker to tech.
Because, well, technical things that require mechanical ability. That's me.
Okay.
You're looking at country. or tech me. But my other
Okay.
neighborhood note is, and you're going to appreciate this.
What?
A few nights ago, I was on Amazon,
Oh
and
no.
I was having a cocktail. And
a cocktail?
well, might have been more than one. And I drunk ordered 24 cases, 24 little bags of Cheetos so I
gosh.
could get them the next day.
So you ordered 24 because you wanted them the next day.
Yes.
Did they show up?
They showed up.
Oh my
we
gosh,
have
that's
them.
hilarious.
Yes.
But you knew they were coming.
I did know they were coming. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have pictures of the Cheetos that I will be putting on the web, and they are very tasty.
Oh yeah, Cheetos.
I mean,
are the
Cheetos.
best.
Why are Cheetos so high in calories? Why aren't they
Because they're
calorie
little-
free?
I mean, they're just little desiccated chunks of cheese, right?
Well, and I believe that there's a lot of oil added to them
You
and
know,
salt
I've
and
been told
preservatives.
that orange in Cheetos, that orange color is not good for you. I haven't done any specific.
Liar.
I would love for anybody that has any information about that to follow up with us.
Dr. Fauci would be glad.
I trust Dr. Fauci.
I trust Dr. Fauci too.
Yeah.
Is that all we got for the neighborhood notes?
I think that's all we got.
Okay. We have got to go to the mailbag.
Yeah, what's in the mailbag?
Oh my God. The mailbag. And this is an honest to God. This is 2 honest to God mailbags.
Okay.
Our friend Diana mentioned to us after the Rachel Owens show,
Oh yeah, we
what
talked about
Diana,
her,
and
yeah.
we said that Diana has a home in Park Haven, and which Rachel reps.
Is that here in Nashville?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, it's a senior living community, and they love it there. Diana texted me. She goes, she just heard her shout out on the Rachel Owens show. I'm driving across Alabama just to know that you're helping me keep entertained. I'm driving on my retirement tour that I've been on for 5 weeks visiting family.
Oh, that's
She
awesome.
retired and she got in her car and she's just driving around the country visiting
love
family.
that. I love
so
that.
shout out to Diana.
Shout out. I hope she didn't slow down when she was in Alabama. I try not to.
Alabama getaway.
Alabama. When I hit the Alabama line, I don't stop.
No,
I
don't.
just go as fast as I can.
You know that they had a 55 mile an hour speed limit back in like 1971. And it was really hard for me to keep it. I mean, 71, they had a 55 mile an hour speed limit.
Well, cars didn't go much faster than that in
Oh,
71.
stop.
They didn't.
Okay. And here's cheers to Stacy, our dear friend from the Pacific Northwest,
Stacey,
who heard that I was having trouble finding my favorite vodka, Russian Standard. Guess what I found in the mail the other day?
I don't know how she mailed that to you.
I don't. Well, it was precarious. Shall we say?
It was on the DL.
Yeah.
Smuggled it in.
So thank you, Stacy. And
Thanks,
there will be
Stacey.
pictures and more on the web. And that website is www. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't need the www.
That frontporchaf.com.
That's right. All right. It's time. We have, and look at this. I'd just like to show everybody we're on time.
Well, now that we can all see the clock.
Now that we can all
easy
well,
to
fine,
stay on
fine.
time.
Okay. And I'm going to be introducing, I am just over the moon
Yeah.
about our guest.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
This is exciting.
And I'm going to read it because I don't want to up. Okay.
You know what? All three of us have been arrested.
We have.
I love that.
We have. I've never been convicted. But
I don't know if any of us have been convicted, but we were all arrested. Like, I think that's an interesting life
it is
thing to share.
You know, if you've never been arrested, you know, you still have time.
Yeah, you still have time.
Yeah, if you're
I
breathing.
recommend for everybody to be arrested once.
Yeah, just at least once.
so you know what it's like.
Yeah. The conviction, no. The arrest, not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, our guest today is Tennessee State Representative AFTYN BEHN. By the way, if you hear Ben on the floor of the legislature, it means they're not nice people.
Oh, they're doing this on purpose. Yeah.
Anyway, AFTYN BEHN, one of only 30 Democrats in our Republican supermajority General Assembly. And she is again the Democratic nominee for her seat in the upcoming state elections. A native Tennessean, AFTYN started her career as a social worker and community organizer. Organizer. Fun fact, during a protest to expel a representative accused of sexual assault, she was arrested and removed from the Tennessee House chambers after shouting at Speaker Glenn Casada, who was himself later convicted of fraud, only to be pardoned by Donald Trump. Her activism continued, and after the death of our dear friend, State Representative Bill Beck in 2023, AFTYN won his seat in a special election with 75% of the vote.
Wow.
This November, AFTYN will be running against the Republicans. But she was unopposed in the Democratic primary.
Okay.
And she if the Republicans have any sense, they won't put anybody up against her.
If they have any sense,
Yes.
that would just be like going outside and setting your money on fire.
That's right. Hey, let's get them to do that too. AFTYN has worked tirelessly on civil rights issues, especially with the Department of Children's Services, workplace harassment, ICE abuses, and affordability. Earlier this year, AFTYN and Senator Heidi Campbell relaunched, Pot for Potholes Drive to legalize marijuana and use the proceeds to repair Tennessee highways. We're going to ask AFTYN about the real economics of hosting the Super Bowl, because after spending billions of dollars in taxpayer money on a new stadium, Nashville was awarded the Super Bowl for our Titans in 2030. Well, maybe our Titans, who knows?
Probably not our
Probably
Titans.
not. This will bring in billions and billions, and maybe not. Maybe not. It won't bring in. Anyway, come on down, AFTYN BEHN. Tennessee State Representative for District 51, best district in the state.
Yes.
AFTYN BEHN, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here. What a
This
treat.
is great.
What a treat.
Let's go off. How is it being a blue dot in a sea of red? And not just structurally, but does it affect you emotionally?
Oh, that's a hard question. During special session, I was I like to say a gremlin. I was really upset with my colleagues and made it very known. I was yelling at people in the hallways. There was a moment where I saw two of my Republican colleagues getting in on the elevator, and as the door was closing, I stuck my acrylic nails in there and pulled it open. I go, "You better not vote for this bill. I'm never speaking to you again." Sorry, you're gonna have to manage the audio on that one. I was just beside myself. So there were moments where I can't contain my anger because of just how blatant and egregious some of the behavior and actions are. But I will say today, for example, I have a Republican that whenever he's in the office and he sees my Jeep, he comes in, he's always talking smack, like, talking politics. So I have a good relationship with a lot of my colleagues on either side. So I think it is the most toxic workplace probably in the state of Tennessee.
But it is, you do develop personal relationships with folks that have very polar opposite ideas.
Yeah, and I'm a social worker, and so we're taught to acknowledge the human worth and dignity in people. Now 90% of what happens at the legislature is relational, and so it's much more for me. I try to find the strengths in people. And I think a great example of what's happening now is in the Republican primary. There's, Marsha Blackburn's running against John Rove's, running against Monty Fritz, who has kind of wed himself to the Christian nationalist movement. And yet, Monty and I we talk a lot. He has adopted ending the grocery tax as his primary policy platform and has used it in the Republican primary to drive a wedge between John. So it's really amazing to see the organizing work and my personal, the relationships I have with these people kind of bleed into the politics.
Yeah. If you can establish Sam Rayburn, all these old school Congress people, they said, you go out and have dinner, you have a few drinks, but the problem is now people work.
No one drinks anymore.
No one drinks anymore. Well, I'm sorry. Anyway, but building those personal relationships and maybe we've got some prayer of working together.
Well, and I also want to surface the thinking of the spatial geography of the legislature. So prior to us moving into Cordell Hall, the legislators were in War Memorial Plaza, where they were in quads with other members of the opposite party. And so it was much more cohesive, much more amicable. People had to see each other. And now in Cordell Hall, we're very isolated in our individual offices. There's a lot less camaraderie. And I think it's probably the worst it's ever been in the legislature in terms of relationships. And I don't know how some of these relationships will be salvaged after the special session on redistricting. Because to stand, and my Black colleagues were, they're the way that they engaged with some of our Republican colleagues. It was something to see.
Yeah, and not good for Tennessee. Yeah.
So is it fair to say, or I guess this is a question, like there's some super aggressive bills that are being passed by this Republican supermajority. Does it actually, can you actually have personal relationships with some of the people who are leading the fights on this?
Man. I think about Representative Gino Bolso, right? Who's,
I know, can't even.
Where's the sage? To me, BYOS, bring your own sage.
Yeah, to me, he represents the worst of that side of the
However, we see each other as opposites of the same fight. Like, he understands where I come from in terms of protecting trans kids and protecting trans and ensuring the dignity of trans Tennesseans. But he understands, like, he's part of that fight in his world, and I am on the other side in my world. And so I think there's a mutual respect as to the strategy that's at play when we go after each other. And I will say that after the congressional race, which I know we will talk about, there was not a day that went by in January when a Republican did not come up to me and say, "We are so proud of you. Like, wow, you handled that so well. We're just incredible." Again and again and again, including Representative Bolso, who said you did a great job. So it's, I think that it's, you see the work ethic, and I think people in the legislature really admire gumption. And as you two probably gather, I have a little bit of that.
A little bit, yeah.
As long as you're talking about that election, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm going to go to that. And here's, last year you were the Democratic nominee for a special election to fill a seat in the U.S. Congress. While you lost to Republican Matt Van Epps,
who's a constituent of ours, by the way. Did you know that? I put him on the postcard birthday list after I beat him.
That's awesome.
Well, it was by less than 9 percentage points, which is stunning because this is a district that Trump carried by 22 points. Does this give you any clues about the future of maybe a more purple Tennessee?
I'd love to. I have a circuitous route of answering questions.
Okay,
So please humor me.
We got a circuitous route of asking.
Okay.
You know,
I love it. I'm proud of myself and my team because I had a very specific theory of change at the beginning of this entire saga. And so in June, a good organizer always has a strategy and a theory of change. And my theory of change was one, that I had been organizing around ending the grocery tax and economic justice issues. And I felt like my name was kind of synonymous with ending the grocery tax in a way that would be beneficial for the argument for me as a candidate. Second is that I was an organizer at National Indivisible. I was actually their first tranche of hires ever in their in the tenure of the organization. I was hired. And I understood uniquely that these special elections, what transpires. And so I knew that if I was the candidate, that this entire national progressive ecosystem would jump in, and that's exactly what happened. And then third is that I got my start as a rural organizer. And so a lot of my professional portfolio has been trying to figure out how to lose less in Republican areas. And I did that nationally. And so I was actually involved in the abortion ballot referendums in Montana and Ohio, turning out rural and small town voters in favor of these to codify abortion rights on the ballot.
And it worked.
And it worked. It was successful. So that was my theory of change going into it. And all of that turned out to be true. Trump spent almost $7 million against me in dark money. If you look at the numbers, we outraised my opponent 3-1 on my side, like on the candidate specific side. And then the dark money jumped in, which is what we're probably going to see in the congressional District 5 with Andy Ogles, who's raised basically nothing. And so that dark money came in. Did you know Trump called me smart and attractive? 2 weeks, two weeks after the election is over, I'm trying to pretend, just crawl myself out of this hole that I'm in because I had walking pneumonia. I was so sick. It was not a fun experience. Worthy, but not fun. And I get a text from a reporter in DC, and they're like, "Hey, Trump is talking about you right now." And I'm like,
"Oh my gosh."
So I turn on C-SPAN.
Oh
It's so weird. So I turn on C-SPAN. He's like, "We just had an incredible election in Tennessee. Matt Van Epps won bigly. I was a big reason why he won against a very smart and attractive candidate." And I was like, "Oh my God,
it's accurate."
You know what?
Who knew you could do the orange man?
He was so, and I think, my candidacy in this race really triggered a lot of men, not only Trump, but what I didn't realize is, because I'm blonde, I am, conventionally a Southerner. I grew up in a good family in East Tennessee. I went to good schools. That I can't be a progressive, that I can't be a Democrat. And it irked. I mean, the thought pieces written by strange men and about my race and me as a candidate was really weird. I mean, borderline.
This is a whole other, this isn't just a podcast. This is a whole field of study that they will write dissertations on, for years and years.
Yeah. I mean, what'd you do with that? Do you just ignore it, or do you take any?
I came in when I was in my legislative office once a week. I would come in, and I would had violent rape threats called into my legislative phone. Not only that, but my mom received rape threats. My brother and my parents received death threats. My partner's son's school was called. His former work. I mean, it was really scary. And I'm embarrassed because I feel a bit naive as to that. I didn't expect that. And so now that I endured that, I'm like, okay, well, I've...
You know what's coming.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so when I do run for office, I know what to prepare for. But I was really proud of the race we ran. If you were a Black voter in North Nashville that week of the election, that weekend before December 2nd, you woke up, you saw me on Instagram, you turned on your TV. Yeah. I was on a commercial. You'd go to the gym. You saw me. You go to your mailbox. You'd have 3 pieces of mail. There were, it was just... the voters felt so cared for, and because Tennessee's not a battleground state, voters hadn't experienced that before. And so it's something that I think we've elevated the standard of what it means to run campaigns, and asking operatives who've been around for a while, they're like, this was a race almost, they said the last time we've seen this level of competence was Harold Ford Jr.'s race.
Yes. Oh,
and so, that's when, and that was 15 years ago,
that's
right?
That's a high compliment. And congratulations for winning an incredibly effective and eye-opening race.
For sure.
What did it feel like to you two on the ground?
It was very exciting. I'd signed up for your chat thing. Like I'd signed up to help, and there was this chat thing that, and it was like incredibly, like there was like a gazillion messages coming through about what to do and where people could go and be and do stuff. It was really cool. It was super exciting, and it felt I think for me, it kind of felt like there was hope.
We talked about that, and we thought, she's got a chance. She's got a chance. And so thank you for the hope. Well, can we get to pot for potholes before?
I was gonna. I know. I just wanted to talk.
We can, but.
We can't. Okay.
Well,
I'll go over here and smoke a cigarette while you guys.
Because I really am interested in.
But I didn't answer your question, so that was my circuitous journey to get there. So inevitably, it was a barometer, and special sessions are kind of flashes in the pan at any moment in time. The barometers of where kind of the general public is going. I will say, and I am measured in my response because I have lost a lot of races in Tennessee. I've been trying to flip one state legislative seat in Memphis for almost 8 years. We've been trying to flip it for 30 years. It's impossible to flip these seats in Tennessee. And I'm not saying that as that you shouldn't have hope, because I deeply believe in my bones that the pendulum will swing, but it'll be probably in another 4 to 6 years. So all that to say is this election cycle, like we need to go all in because we have to show that Tennessee is worth fighting for, especially given the circumstances and the aftermath of special session. But it's a long slog.
Yeah. I mean, we had Rachel Campbell on, and
good.
And
I missed that episode.
We also had Run for Something.
Yeah, we had Amanda Littman.
Oh my God.
She's awesome.
I knew you guys were big leagues.
Yeah.
But I think that organization, like, obviously we got Nashville turned out tons of votes, but like eking into that rural part of that district, it's like, I think that's where the work is to be. And I think that people believe in what you stand for.
And that I don't equivocate. I mean, I had I had a conservative talk show host say, you're a lot like Trump. And I was like, please, please. And he goes, you are authentic. He's like, you are the same person you are on a podcast that you are in the legislature. And you don't try to, I might say it differently, but I believe what I believe and I don't equivocate.
Yeah. And speaking of believing, now watch it. Was that a segue to be proud of?
I love it, but I don't know where you're going.
Pot for potholes.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I'm a hippie. Okay. I'm a hippie from the 60s. Of course, I'm just going to
say, like, what a freaking long shot, because this legislature has even outlawed medical marijuana. So how do you...
And hemp.
And hemp. Well, hemp it too. But I mean, like, even for kids with seizures, blah, blah, blah. So how do you overcome that? Like,
well, it all makes sense when you understand that the legislature is run by prosecutors and cops. So the reason we don't have nice things is because of that. They look at the world as everyone should be in jail, and that is the...
Are you saying that's where most of the representatives, that's their job history?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No. Most everyone in leadership, the committee chairs, they're all cops, former cops and prosecutors.
I had no idea.
So when you think of the paradigm in which they are operating, it is very much pro-carceral. Everyone is good or bad. There's no ambiguity for mistakes.
There's no, like, let's put some programs in place so we don't have private prisons. To give people opportunities like that.
And I know we're going to talk about DCS, but when I presented Pot for Potholes in front of Leader Lamberth on the Republican side, he launched into this diatribe about how we're not Colorado or those blue states. And yet our support for Pot for Potholes is bipartisan. I mean, I have emails from, across the political spectrum. I have legislators that are coming to me saying their constituents want that. And yet the intransigence is just so deep. Like I truly don't understand it, but here's what I think will happen. So I've seen, Trump declassified marijuana.
And it's up for another round in FDA to decriminalize it even further.
Yes.
Right.
So I think if there's even more, I mean, we thought with the movement at the federal level that there would be a bit more of a knee-jerk reaction to do something here. Alas, That would be asking too much of our chambers. But what I'm trying to do right now with Pot for Potholes is, and I'm grateful that you all said that I'm always working. I know that's not kind of a good thing, but like, I truly am always organizing and scheming. And so we've collected almost 700 signatures for our Pot for Potholes petition. And we emailed them, the interns, my 25 interns, emailed them a copy of a letter to the editor that they could send to their local paper, asked them to email their reps, asked them to show up to a debate and ask the question, do you support Pot for Potholes? They also made a candidate toolkit that we'll be sending out with the map that we created.
Wow.
They showed me today, which highlights the bridges that are in poor condition. There's almost 1,000 of them that were built before the 1910s, and unpaved roads. And so we will be sending that as a package to the candidates.
Off the top of your head, what would the tax implications be, the tax benefit implications be for Tennessee if we did adopt Pot for Potholes, making pot available as a as a state regulated and taxed and controlled thing? Just go ahead off the top of your...
We tend to use Massachusetts, although it's a blue state. It has a similar population size, and so we tend to use it for our example. And 2 years ago, I believe they yield almost $250 million in revenue. Now, we're seeing economic conditions, so I imagine it would fluctuate between 200 and 300 million, but that's ongoing revenue. And I'm really proud of myself because in all of my legislation, I try to include creative revenue generators, because you never want to get to the end. They're like, how do you pay for that? Well, there's shit that you pay for with all your, whatever, voucher, it's like,
you can afford that. Don't get me started on the vouchers.
It's endless for them, but for us. And I was proud this year because the chair of the House Finance Committee, who's a Republican, took multiple of my revenue generators and stuffed them into his bills.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
That's awesome.
So
excellent.
I thought, and that's, for me, that's the barometer of success in the legislature.
That's great.
Well, it is because, you guys, as a
have no power.
You have no power.
We're kicked off our committees.
I was going to ask you about committees. So committees.
For people who don't know, people who are not aware, all the Democrats were kicked off of committees, and they by the Republican supermajority.
That's all they
right.
have.
So you just sit around eating bonbons all day. In the
my legislative aide called me and she goes, the clerk's office just walked in with a stack of letters and you were first, and they handed it to me. And I was like, okay, well, open it. And she opened it. It was like, Representative Behn, you have been removed from all of your committees for your antics. And so I immediately called Leader Camper, who's a Black woman who represents Memphis. And I was like, Leader Camper, what are we going to do? She's like, AFTYN, I got it. And so I thought, because I'm, only 3 years in, I didn't know the kind of the intricacies of it. And so, we were all kicked off our committees, and that's basically the only penalty under their jurisdiction that they can manage. But I do think, and this is the scary part, and I'm not a pessimist, but I am a pragmatist. And so I understand where things are going. And I think, especially if Marsha Blackburn becomes our governor, there will be a moment where they try to criminally prosecute legislators with.
Well, they've already proposed that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yes, but and enacted, like actually implemented. And so I think like either something will snap, she'll snap and call for the arrest of myself or Representative Justin Pearson or Representative Justin Jones. And that's when like you all are going to be, you're going to have to be my ride or die.
We'll come get you. It's crazy times.
Crazy
times. And unprecedented times.
Unprecedented. And to me, it makes no sense that people wouldn't want a balanced government. No. Like, we'll be better if we
responsive,
have multiple
at
ideas.
least.
Oh, my
right?
Lord. Yes. I mean, I do not know. I do not know what is in the minds of people who want to. You talk about antics. Anyway, I'm gonna.
She has some feelings. I have feelings.
I have feelings.
Same.
You have a wonderful newsletter. By the way,
thank you for saying.
We
spend a lot of time
all
on
of
it.
these links are going to be on the website. But for everybody listening out there, if you want to go ahead and look it up now, AFTYN is AFTYN.
Robert Burns poem.
Behn,
Yes.
BEHN.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
AFTYNBEHN.com. There is so much good stuff, including your newsletter, which prompted our plea to you to come on the show.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
when I said,
I'm so
okay, I said,
touched.
we
I'm so touched
finally,
there's actually people that read it. So
we've got to send this out there and hope that she responds. And I cried.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what an honor it is for me to come on this podcast?
Oh my God.
Literally, this is the only media thing I've done besides local news in 6 months because I've said no.
Oh,
to
that's
it.
cool.
Wow.
And I was waiting for the call. I was
feel
waiting
super
for the
I'm
call.
Joe and she's Rogan.
Yeah.
No, anyway.
Absolutely not.
Anyway, you had
Immediately not.
you
Immediately,
had
it's a
a
hard
really revealing thing. Nashville is over the moon because they've invested billions of dollars in a new Titans football stadium. In the hopes that it would attract the Super Bowl here, because all cities are told that if you have an NFL team and you built an adequate stadium, and we pick you for the Super Bowl, it's going to mean blank billions of dollars to the local economy.
Is it billions? They
It's-
claim it's billions.
Oh yeah, it's
$1 billion.
It's billions and billions. It is. It's like 4 to 5
That's
billions of
referenceable
dollars.
age, but-
Yeah. Okay, but in a nutshell, is the hype from the NFL to be believed?
Well, in my Substack, and I want to be really thoughtful and intentional with the words I put out into the world. And I like to do research. I love economics. And so I was really curious, and I always start with a question, and I love to be wrong. As a legislator, I love to be proven wrong once I get more information. But I'm like, okay, does this really yield the economic impact that the NFL and business interests, are touting? And the research disproves that it will yield even, a little bit of what they are saying. And so there's case studies from when the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, when it was in Seattle, that there's a massive kind of security parameter that is implemented, and the businesses within that didn't make any revenue because of the security precaution that went in. And so, that's a big concern. I have concerns about the infrastructure. All of the I'm a Nashville legislator. I represent 60,000 voters. All of the legislation with regard to my district is created behind closed doors with lobbyists and Republicans and then presented to us the last day of the legislative session. And the lobbyists say, I hope you're grateful for the crumbs you're given.
Oh my
And so, and that's and they treat us like petulant children. It's disgusting. And so they presented this package of bills, of which one allowed the convention center to work with the Republican state legislature to bypass Metro for anything relevant to the Super Bowl.
Right.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
giving them
they
a
cut Nashville
Yeah.
out.
They used our taxpayer dollars
That's
to
right.
build that stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have
It's
no-
a gift. It's a gift to our supreme leaders.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in accountability. I also I represent downtown, and so that comes with a whole host of issues and unique needs, especially representing constituents that live downtown. So I'm just very interested right now in what you all think, and how I can use that to then advocate and organize for to ensure that the economic benefit does trickle down, because I do not believe it will, based on my research.
I think if we get Taylor Swift to come, it'd be better.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I think.
here's the thing. We're turning into Vale. Nobody can afford
To live there,
to live
yeah.
here and work here.
Yeah.
And it is the difference between Nashville now and when we moved here 23 years ago, let alone for somebody who's grown up here. You used to be able to have a job and live in Nashville, a regular job that paid $35,000 a year. You cannot do that now. And our infrastructure, the roads are suffering, the education system is suffering, everything is suffering. Yes, we've got bridesmaids, and we've got the the football draft. And what did that do?
They cut our trees down.
They cut our trees. They cut our trees down. So what price glory here? What price glory?
At the cost of what? And that's the argument I make in the Substack and you asked, I think one of the questions was, what is Nashville nice? In my mind, the hospitality, this inability and or disinterest in asking hard questions is literally killing us, is killing our ability to make money, to have healthy and thriving families, to have communities that are invested in. And that's what my big concern is I always want to, follow the money, and taxpayer money, one, should not go to subsidized stadiums.
Right.
But if we're going to spend tax dollars, how is that money being spent? And is it being spent to yield the best economic benefits for my constituents?
We
have
we
one
are
more
oh yeah
question.
oh shoot yeah
We're good.
What's the over-under on the passing of the grocery tax bill?
Oh, strange bedfellows, my friend. Strange bedfellows. So the issue is, and Tennessee we are entering a period of deep economic crises and compounded crises. So one, and I wrote about this in my most recent Substack, which paints a very bleak picture of the next decade. But with the federal budget cuts from the Trump administration, the COVID dollars, of which were an influx in local and state governments, are running out. Those dollars are running out. And not only that, but they have cut the corporate tax rate so much that companies are not paying any taxes. And so Senator Oliver, and this is it just blows my mind. Senator Oliver and I solicited the Department of Revenue and said how many companies that reported over $1 billion of federal taxable income are paying zero in taxes in Tennessee, almost 60%.
Jeez.
oh my God.
And so none of them, I know. So when we talk about ending the grocery tax, the price tag is around $700 million to $1 billion. Well, lo and behold, there was a study showing that closing corporate loopholes in the state of Tennessee would yield almost $800 million in revenue per year. And I presented that in the House Finance Committee. And I could see no one, usually there's always shenanigans are afoot. That's one of my favorite phrases. Shenanigans are afoot. Shenanigans were not afoot in this committee. And you could tell that the wheels were kind of churning because they are, especially if you're on this finance committee, you realize things are not in good standing. You don't know what happened because our budget has doubled in 15 years, but none of that money is going to fund new services, new programming. What it is that your tax dollars have been grifted. The state's been privatized, and the procurement with contracts are going to all their buds.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this next project I'm launching. I've got to figure out what iteration it's going to be in, but it's going to be something like a corruption tracker because we are in a second Gilded Age, and so calling out the corruption, which is more covert than overt in other states, and a lot of that's the National Nice and the Tennessee. It's everything's being done behind the scenes, but to really surface the corruption that's taking place right now and helping people understand where their tax dollars are going.
Anyway, thank you, AFTYN BEHN, AFTYNBEHN.com, and many other things, including runforsomething.net, vote.org, tndp.org. Any other .orgs that you can think about?
So many.
And we'll have them on the thing. All right,
many.
Take it away, Miss Kelly.
We have more shows coming up.
We do have more shows coming up.
Thank God.
Yeah, we're talking about music and we're talking Dynamite
but you can
National.
find us wherever you get your podcast, anywhere you get your podcast.
Anywhere you get your videos,
or your
YouTube.
videos. We have YouTube. Sue's doing some exploring TikTok.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
TikTok curious, are we?
I am TikTok curious. And we have our own website and all of the socials except for what used to be called Twitter and is now X. Yeah, we never, ever get on that.
We're not on Truth Social either.
Oh, damn. I'll put that on my to-do list.
Anyway,
Okay.
So you can find us at www.frontporchaf.com.
Okay. And so until next time. AFTYN BEHN, raise a glass.
All right. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all. We're going to solve all the problems of the world.
Yes, we are.
Dun, 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 dun. Music. There you go.